guys, uh, guys, before I get into the best we got going on the show. Also, consistent with the video, especially with all the content that I get into. But episode. I'm happy about that. But there are some really interesting news out there, and it was hard for me to figure out which one that I wanted to go out with. Now, look me, I'm wearing this 2017 shirt right now, and right now I look like I'm ready. So it is what it is. I worked out, went walking yesterday, and did not decided just not to change the shirt. So, oh well, this is what we're gonna do. But anyways, guys, we got four really interesting topics that we're going to be discussing on this episode of the Streamline Podcast. The first topic is going to be the upcoming new animated Resident Evil film. The second one is going to be the new Alien film that's coming out. The third is going to be the Flash movie, basically the trailer and my thoughts about it, as well as the reboot of Hellboy, finding a new cast for the Hellboy. Got to forgive my bloom back there. My wife gave me something for Valentine's Day, and I didn't want to get rid of it, so I kept it, and one of them looked like it's run out of air. But anyways, so there you go, four really interesting topics. We're going to jump right into this. Now, let me see if I did this right. Okay, that's my new thing. Every time I switch topics, I'm going to put that up. Maybe I should have put topics change or something. Maybe I got to go back and edit that. It was actually pretty cool doing that. But anyway, that's going to be the new transition thing. So anyway, let's go ahead and just jump into this now. The Resident Evil films, there have been two adaptations. There have been live action films that have been coming out with featuring Mila Jovovich as the main lead of the films. And then there was an animated film series to kind of mirror that later on. But this one was it was actually a part of the canon of the main games. Now, live action, loosely based. The animated films were more akin to the games. They were canon. They featured the same characters, the same creatures, and I really like the films. The first one was Degeneration. The second one was Damnation. The third one was Vendetta, and then they came out with a television series called Infinite Darkness. Now, the first three films were relatively good. My favorites actually are Damnation and Vendetta. Uh, Degeneration, I think, is actually a solid watch as well. Infinite Darkness, I have issues with, especially when it comes to some of the characterizations, some of the direction they decided to go with the storytelling, and just kind of overall this familiar formula that I feel like when I start playing games or watching the Resident Evil films. Now, to get into the new film that's coming out, is going to be called Resident Evil Dead Island. Now, when came across this, I thought this might possibly be an adaptation of possibly Caliban Cove or the Heavenly Island manga that's actually canon with the movies and the games as well. If you haven't read those, the Marharwa Desire and the Heavenly Island manga are actually extremely awesome reads, and they actually bridge the gap between a couple of the 5 and 6, and I believe 6 and 7. I could be wrong on that, but they're freaking awesome. So go check those out if you haven't read those. But anyways, so this film, there's not really much going on to it. I did see a bit of a teaser trailer. They got Leon coming back because these films actually, the generation featured Leon and Claire, and then you had Damnation, which featured Leon and Ada, and then you had Vendetta, which featured Rebecca, Leon, and Chris, and Infinite Darkness featured Claire and Leon again. And then you have this new one, Dead Island, which is going to feature Leon, Chris, and it's teased at the end, Jill Valentine. One of the most interesting aspects to this that I think is actually pretty freaking interesting, which somebody else pulled up, is I don't really remember seeing Leon and Jill really interact in any of the series. Now, when I read the book series by S.D. Perry and Steve Perry and them, there's like a scene where you see these two characters interact, but for the most part you never really see Jill and Leon share any kind of screen time over any of the games. So to see her and them possibly interact is actually pretty cool, just like when playing Resident Evil 6 or when Vendetta came out, you actually see these really cool iconic scenes between Leon and Chris, which that's one of the best things about Vendetta. I mean, the movie does have its share of problems, but seeing these two awesome badasses just interact with each other, fight alongside each other, playing alongside each other, just seeing these characters basically just share scenes together was possibly the best possible thing to come out that freaking movie. And even Resident Evil 6, for all the crap that I give that game, at least we got one decent, short but decent fight between Chris and Leon, and it's cool seeing the different dynamics of how their different fighting styles. Where you see Chris be more power based, hard hitting. Leon is a bit more quicker and more with more precision, and I like that. I like seeing them mirror each other, not only when you see them in combat against each other, but while fighting enemies, while fighting these different enemies. So I'm interested to see. It looks like it's going to be a prison island, like it possibly be like Alcatraz. I was thinking it would be something similar to what happened with Resident Evil Revelations 2, because that featured an island. But this one appears to be more of an outbreak rather than a controlled experiment, which was in Resident Evil Revelations 2. I think this does have roots to be potentially something good. Now, earlier I had mentioned that there is a bit of a curse that Resident Evil kind of follows in a lot of them in a lot of material. And it goes really like this. One of the OG characters pops up. They fight new monsters. They're new characters. The new characters rarely stand out. There's a villain. The villain turns into a monster at the end. There's a big fight. End of story. That's pretty much how every Resident Evil game, the manga, the books, all of the movies pretty much follow that same freaking formula. And that was one of my problems I had with Infinite Darkness. And I think Infinite Darkness actually had a potential to take into different directions. But unfortunately, it felt like they wanted to go the safe route and just revert back to formula, especially towards the end of it. I would like to see this Dead Island film take a bit of a different direction. And there was a long time ago. There was I'm not sure. I don't think he does YouTube anymore, but there was a man named Alpha Omega Sin. And one of the problems he had with some of the newer games where they were introducing newer characters. And I said, I think that's one of the problems with the older game, these newer games, that the new games outside of those is the fact that they rely too much on the OG characters to carry the franchise rather than going in new directions with new characters. New characters and new experience will also bring about new experiences to the gameplay, storytelling, and just overall just expanding on what the Resident Evil franchise can give players and not having to really rely so much on what they know definitely works. If they have a Resident Evil movie, the moment that they came out with a Resident Evil movie, who do people gravitate more towards? Leon. Leon is that's predominantly why he's in all of the films. And I'm not sure if this is the film series is simply following him, but I think it would lend itself some credit if they follow some going a different direction, like with Resident Evil 7, which one of the things that made it such a refreshing gaming experience, story wise, is that there weren't the familiar characters. There was a sense of new experiences because this was a different person, that this was a more not a more interesting character, but an interesting character that has this backstory, this ties to the location and the events of the game, and that makes this series feel so much richer when you do have those new experiences. I love Leon and I love Chris, And of course, I love Jill Valentine. Now, the biggest thing I can take away from this is the fact that Jill Valentine is actually going to be in this film, and it'd be nice to see her character because outside of Sienna Guillory playing her in the live action films, we haven't seen her in the animated films yet. So I think this would be an interesting way. And I like the fact that Rebecca was in Vendetta and she attributed something a bit different. Um, going on my, she attributed something different to the film. So I'm all for this film. I hope it looks good. The animation looks really good. I hope that the voice actors come back with it. I love the action of Vendetta. I like the action that was in Infinite Darkness, and I hope to see that we get some pretty tense scenes in this film as well. It does look like it's going to be a bunch of BOWs, a lot of fighting, and that's what we've come to expect from the Resident Evil franchise. So, having said that, I'm actually interested and I'm actually happy to see that they're continuing with this trend of releasing these animated films. I think that is a really good way to go. All right, I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys for topic number 2, which I am happy about, is the new Alien film, Alien Romulus. I like the franchise. I did a breakdown of the television series that they got going on. They got coming out in development, which I really wanted to see. I believe I did a video on the new game that's coming out, Aliens Dark Descent, which I was happy to. I thought would look really cool, and I'm actually interested to see what they're going to do with that game as well. My favorite Alien game, of course, Alien Isolation, a very tense game, a very good looking game. The sound quality is awesome. The gameplay is freaking awesome. Just right now, the ultimate Alien gaming experience that you can get. But having said that, I like the Alien franchise just because I did it. Uh, comparing the films and everything. I've also we've done some conversations on Breaker Debates as well about the series as well. Now, the Alien franchise definitely has had his ups and downs. I've really enjoyed the first movie. The second movie, hands down, is my favorite. As much as people don't like the third film, I actually like the third film, despite the many problems it has. Resurrection is a film I think had a lot of potential. I read the book. The book does a better job of realizing that potential than the film does. So there's a lot of missed opportunities to it, but I still can sit there and watch the film. Prometheus, which is the prequel, could have been groundbreaking, but it really wasn't. And Alien Covenant was just a bad movie, despite how much better the book is and the prequel book is. So I'm looking at this as a new opportunity to refresh the franchise. Now, the biggest example I can give to this is when Prey came out on Hulu, and for the longest time, I'm like, I don't think this is going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be super woke. I think it's going to be utter garbage. And then when the film dropped, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it to the point that it was possibly my second favorite of the franchise. My first favorite of the films are going to be Predator 2, but at this point it's Predator 2, and then there's either going to be Predator or Prey. I really enjoyed the film, and I like the new direction that it went. And I think because of that, this potentially has legs to stand on as far as being a sequel film. One of the things that I think that's actually really advantageous is the fact that Ripley's not going to be in this film. I like Sigourney Weaver, but the Alien franchise to me is like the Halo franchise. This is a universal wide. I'm just knocking the hell out this microphone. This is just a universal wide situation that's going on. Master Chief can't be at every fight. He can't be in every skirmish. He can't be at every event. Neither can Ripley. As much as I like her character and I would like to see her character come back, I think we're at a point now where we probably should just move away from her character and focus more on diversifying the spotlight here. Now, when I say diversify, I don't mean this whole woke crap. I mean basically just giving us some well-written characters that we can possibly root for. that aren't idiots, that are actually likable characters, which lately the films have been struggling with. Now, the new film is going to be directed by Fede Alvarez. And I do like some of the films that this man has done. Don't Breathe is one of my favorite horror thrillers. I think it's a really interesting idea and it's cleverly shot. I do like the Evil Dead remake. I like that it's gross. I like that it's violent. I like that it goes into those some really disturbing directions with a lot of the good practical effects and the gore that they got going on in the film. And honestly, The Girl in the Spot as well, for as much as people don't like that film, I actually like it. And I'm a huge fan of the Millennium series. I think that I just recently started reading some of the comics, which I didn't know there was comics. So I done read the books, watched the movies, read the comics, and now I'm going to head into the direction of the television series. So I'm a huge fan of that. And I like I said, I really think the man does have potential. I like what he's done with some of these with Evil Dead, and I like what he did with the girl in the spider's web. So I think if the man does apply himself and give us and listen to the fans and kind of look back upon some of the extended universe that the Alien franchise does have, because there are a lot of books out there and a lot of freaking comics, and those things are freaking awesome. And I wouldn't mind seeing some of those transition to live action. But I think that this could be potentially a good film. Now, there is something that does have me worried, and I will go ahead and state this for you guys. The film says reported. Can't remember exactly what site I got this from, but it is reported that it follows a group of young people on a distant world who find themselves in confrontation with the most terrifying life form in the universe. Now, I don't mind that. I feel like we should play this like Resident Evil. We don't need OGs that know how to fight these things. We need competent people. We need competent characters to be able to go up against these things and see how new characters deal with these creatures. I think that's all a really good way to handle this. What's got me worried is the young people part. Now, lately, a lot of, I'm not going to say some, I'm going to say a lot of these horror films that I have been seeing, a lot of these young characters that they write are just a complete garbage. They're dog crap. They're poorly written. They're the worst archetypes and stereotypes. They're literally just written for you to just want them all to die. One of the biggest examples I can give is the film Terror Train and its sequel. Most of the characters are stupid, unlikable, and you just want them to get killed as soon as the movie starts. You're rooting for the killer to kill his people, and that's just one of many. There are a lot of films out there where the younger cast of characters, you just want them to die. Scream 4 and 5 were like that. Although Scream 4 did have more likable characters than 5 did, but it's pretty much you just wanted these people to die. So I do have a problem with that, especially with younger characters. They do make younger characters be completely stupid. And look, young people are dumb. I was young, I did dumb things, but there are certain things and situations where we utilize common sense, you utilize thought, and that's one of the best and worst things. I would like to see younger people having to deal with these situations. I think it'll be a different atmosphere and tone because we haven't actually seen like teenagers or 20 something year old, early 20 characters having to deal with a situation like this. So there is definitely definitely an edge that could be written on, which I would like to go. Hopefully the film doesn't end up toppling over that edge. But I've looked at the cast, and honestly, I don't really know any of these people. It includes Kaylee Spaney, David Johnson, Archie Reno, Isabella Mercy, which I believe she played in the Rosalina film, and she played the live action Dora in the Dora Explorer film. And also it's Spike Fern and Aileen Wu. I don't know these people. That just shows you and that's what makes me kind of worried because you don't know any of these people. So I don't really know what the acting chops is outside of possibly Mercy. Um, but she was in a romantic comedy, and that movie really wasn't that good. It was alright. It was alright, but Rosalind was alright. But anyways, I'm interested, and the only reason I'm interested is because Prey came out, and Prey actually, in my opinion, revitalized the Predator franchise. Now, if we can make Alien Romulus just as good, or at least just as entertaining, I think we have hope for the franchise yet. So, having said that, I guess we jump on to the next subject. As soon as I know how to figure out how to do these transitions. No, we probably be taking a break right now. Hold on a sec. Y'all go ahead and enjoy these tunes on our short break. Creeping with the soft shell, my lurks. Creeping with the hunter, my lurks. Creeping with the razor claw, my lurks. Get in deep with the my lurks. Creeping with the soft shell, my lurks. Creeping with the hunter, my lurks. Creeping with the razor claw, my lurks. Get in deep with the my lurks. Get in deep with the my lurks. For any who enter our turf, the blood surf, no search. Clamper the claws, the blood spurts. When we lurks burst from the dirt, we shock nerves. Bullets bounce off my shell, I give them hell. Wander through the marsh, dead men tell, no tales. Visit Far Harbor, ship set, no sails. Hands flare, get to rep the alert cartel. We breathe underwater and burrow under the ground. These rats not a problem, tainted 47 meters down. Come around our habitat, no one's gonna challenge that. Flooded facility, we inhabit that. In this water's waist, deep your sheep to the slaughter. Gonna choke you to sleep while you're waiting in the water. Before you drown, my claws will rip your heart out. The sides on my shell say I got that hard cloud, unclench that blood rage, red eyes with carapace, outrage, blood safe disappear without a trace. Just proficient on the land when I tend to catch things, cut you into pieces and feed you to the hatchlings. Creeping with the soft shell, my lurks. Creeping with the hunter, my lurks. Creeping with the razor claw, my lurks. Get in deep with the my lurks. Creeping with the soft shell, my lurks. Creeping with the hunter, my lurks. Creeping with the razor claw, my lurks. Get in deep with the my lurks.
Get in deep with the my lurk queen, crustacean leader of the lurk regime, fleecing the fatigues. I got my own legion, getting mischievous. I'll send the Marines in. Lady of the lake, creature from the Black Lagoon, from the murky waters, teacher from the trap platoon. Got the killer instinct to murder rap you. Vice grip, close trap you. No hands still clap you. Got the kill class to thrill y'all before I kill y'all. Send ripples to the surface, aqua boy skill raw. But it ain't a thing to me, I stay my lurking. Ain't a my lurking without a my lurk queen.
All right. Yes, we come back. Cool. I did a break. That's going to be awesome. Guys, if you want to hear any more of the music, we do have that on the channel here. So oh, snap. Hold on a second. Okay. I got a little hype. But anyways, we do have more music here on the channel, and we're going to be publishing some more music pretty soon. Just got to make sure everything, basically dot our I's and cross our T's. The Fallout Experience, Volume 1. Be prepared for that. We got a few more songs, but we're going to drop on that, and it's going to be awesome. So let's go ahead and continue on with the podcast. We are talking about the Flash trailer. Now, I know this Flash trailer has been out for a while now. Everybody's made their talks about it. There's been the whole controversy considering not only Ezra Miller's role in the DCEU, following all this crazy and just despicable stuff that this man has done, in which he should actually lose, well as kind of the big controversy over what's going on with the DC and DCEU and James Gunn and everything, which I'm going to say this too. I am so freaking pissed that my boy Henry Cavill they just did my boy wrong. I don't care what James Gunn said. He could have worked it into the script to bring Henry Cavill back, and they had everything, and they just messed it up. So I'm like, at this point, because of what they've done, the whole with Henry Cavill, with Gal Gadot, with basically just shutting off everything that is set up, I'm just gonna treat them like Marvel right now and just not watch the rest of their stuff. Now, the Flash I will, because to me, the Flash is basically the last vestige of the DCEU that I actually did like. So I'm gonna go ahead and watch it. Yeah, if it makes me a piece of crap, I don't care. I like the DCEU. And yes, Ezra Miller is crap and everything, but I'm trying to sit here and pay the people that's sit here and made the movie outside of him. So I'm gonna still watch that movie. But anyways, so let's talk about the trailer. The trailer I actually thought was actually pretty good. I was like, man, it's gonna be garbage. They're not gonna make a Flash movie, right? With all the directors dropping off and everything. And I basically just how controversial everything has been at DC and Warner Brothers. I didn't think that they'd do it any justice. I'm not gonna lie, the trailer looks freaking awesome to me. There's a lot that I like about it. First, let's just go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. The biggest thing in this trailer that pretty much everybody's talking about, which I think is kind of stupid, but is Keaton's Batman. When they announced that Keaton's Batman was going to come back, I'm sitting here like, I don't want to watch an 80-year-old or 70-year-old Batman. I think that's dumb. But they make him young. You get to see him do a lot of really cool shit. We have Ben Affleck that's going to be in the film. He's not. It don't look like he's going to be Batman, but there's supposedly we're not going to see him as Batman. We're going to get the Bruce Wayne version of the character, which I actually like Ben Affleck as Batman. He's one of the better Batmans in my opinion. But seeing Michael Keaton come back in the way that they presented it looks pretty awesome. Now they did kind of flash a possible Christian Bale Batman, but I don't think that that's actually Christian Bale. I think that's possibly going to be Michael Keaton's Batman. Now, the interesting thing about this is the film is going to follow the Flashpoint paradox. Flashpoint paradox is basically when the Flash goes back into the past to save his mother from being murdered, all the while changing everything in the process. Good guys that's supposed to be villain. Good guys are villains. Villains are good guys. Some people don't. People that exist aren't heroes because of certain things didn't happen. It just turns the whole world and the whole DC universe on its head. And I didn't read the comics, but the Flashpoint Paradox movie is on point. Now, I did hear YouTubers say the Flash is kind of a dummy for doing that, but you got to think about it. This man went back to go save his mom, one person, He didn't know that the whole universe was going to change because of it. Usually you think maybe there's some small changes in history. No, this changed everything. So I think as far as a Flash movie, I think this is actually a good idea. Now, the thing about the Flashpoint is it's about time travel, but the Flash actually has been able to travel through the multiverse. My understanding of the comics, I've seen them travel the multiverse, going to different universes and stuff. So I'm interested where they're going to go because right now, multiverse is the big thing because of what happened with Marvel, which Marvel brought it up and then it was garbage the moment they brought it up. Yes, I will admit seeing the 3 Spider-Men together was rather cool. What would have been even better is if they had got the 1980s, 1970s version of Spider-Man and brought him on. That way we could have got 4 live action Spider-Man. Boom. But anyways, we're going to see if DC basically does it better. Now, the film, like I said, I'm interested to see how they're going to balance out the time travel elements with the multiverse elements. And I wonder if them doing a time travel is going to do the split that creates the multiverse, or is it generally, yes, there is the multiverse going on. We did get a peek of that during the Crisis event in the Arrowverse, where we got the Arrowverse version of the Flash meet the DCU version of the Flash, and then we're going to see if they actually continue on with that. Which is when I'm like, okay, cool. We get to see Keaton's Batman coming up, and maybe possibly Bale's. So we'll see what they're going to go through with that. Now, one of the things that they did in the Flashpoint, which I thought was actually pretty cool, is Superman isn't found by Jonathan and Martha. He's actually, the government finds him, and then they end up basically imprisoning him from sunlight. So he's rather weak, rather frail, at least from the Paradox movie. Well, I was wondering how they're going to bring Supergirl into it, because the Supergirl next to Keaton was another big thing that they were going to get into. So let's just go ahead and talk about the Supergirl. I was wondering how they were going to present her in the film, and the Flashpoint change, the ripple effect, knocked Superman out of, from the way it seems, knocked Superman's existence out of the DCEU. So when he goes back, Superman ceased to exist. And instead of it being him coming to Earth, it's Kara's character. Now, I don't mind Supergirl being in the film. And I'm on the fence because I'm like, okay, yes, they don't need to race change these characters. And it's kind of dumb that they did it. Okay, fine. We'll just call it what it is. Yeah, it was dumb that they did it, and there's no reason for them to do it. Now, can the girl actually play the character? If she can, I ain't got no problems. So basically, what I was going with is Supergirl is going to take that spot. And it took me 2 or 3 times watching the trailers to get a sense of, yes, it looks like Zod is going to invade. Then, as Zod invades, they're going to realize that they can't fight Zod. They're going to need a Kryptonian, which they end up finding out that Supergirl is locked away, much like Superman was in the Flashpoint Paradox. So Batman, the scene that you see with Batman, and he's like, "What are we doing?" Everything you see, Batman and Flash go to that facility, rescue Supergirl. She becomes a Kryptonian. She gains her powers and everything, and that's when they ultimately go and fight the Kryptonians. So I think that's basic from what the trailers show. That's what it looks like. And like I said, I ain't got nothing against the chick. I don't know much about her filmography or anything, but if she can play the role, I'm not mad at her. It's not me to sit there and get mad at her. She go ahead and kill that role. And I think this trailer, I think they messed up on it. I think in this trailer, since they introduced Batman, it should have been solely Batman in this trailer. And then trailer 2 or trailer 3 introduce Supergirl and give her spot in it. So there was a lot going on in the trailer. I actually liked the trailer. I thought it was pretty cool. I like kind of seeing this dynamic between the two Barry characters. Honestly, I don't like his suit. His suit does look pretty stupid. I like the suit that he originally had in the Justice League. It looked like it was practical. Now I can kind of see why he might possibly have the suit, being friends with Bruce Wayne, having money, having high quality technology to build a better functioning suit, a more efficient suit. But I actually like the one from the Justice League films. Um, Also, another thing that I thought was actually pretty poignant for this film is the fact that the Flashpoint basically is going to restart the DCEU. What better way to restart the DCEU than with the very film that started it, Man of Steel, which I thought was actually pretty clever. We get Michael Shannon coming back as Zod, and I want to see Faora. I want to see Faora come back. I want to see Namek come back. Because that Smallville fight was freaking lit, and she definitely stole the show in Man of Steel. I really enjoyed her character, and I wanted to see more from her. But ultimately, despite the controversy going on with what the James Gunn and Warner Brothers is making all these just damn dumb decisions, and I'm not going to lie. I definitely want to come back and make a video on how Shazam and Black Adam could have been a good trilogy had the films been played out right and not had Black Adam, which The Rock and villains it's a whole new subject. That's a whole different video. But anyways, I thought the trailer was actually pretty good. I like the action that they had in it. There's a bit of humor in it. I liked seeing what we did see of Supergirl. It's kind of weird that she didn't have long hair, but it's not impossible for her to not have long hair. The race swap, I am pissed because I did hear that Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot had scenes in the film and they was taken out. And if that's the case, James Gunn, whoever directed this, you're a piece of crap. Just constantly crapping over Warner Bros. Just got it out for Henry Cavill. I don't understand. Damn. But anyways, I actually like the trailer, and it actually got me intrigued to see the movie. If that makes me guilty, it is what it is. Now, let's talk about our final subject. Our final subject is the Hellboy reboots, and we finally got somebody who's going to play the titular character. Now, originally, it was played by Ron Perlman, who was featured in the original Hellboy film that came out in 2003, and Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, which came out in, I believe, 2006 or 2007. I don't really remember. But anyways, we never really got a third film. And for those who don't know, I'm a trilogy guy. If you got two really good movies, I expect a good third one to close it on out, especially with the way it was left off. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. We did get a reboot that came out in, I believe, 2019 called Hellboy, which starred David Arbor as the titular character. And I love David Arbor. I think he's a great actor. I think he's an underrated actor too, because he tends to get into a lot of movies that are kind of crappy. And that Hellboy movie was definitely one of them. So nevertheless, not. I guess it's safe to say that he's not going to be Hellboy no more. But anyways, I think it was a good casting and just a terrible movie. Uh, but anyway, so the new guy that's going to be playing Hellboy is named Jack Kesey. He's going to be playing Hellboy. I don't know much of his credits. He's mostly known for playing Black Tom in Deadpool 2 and Roller in Claws. He probably has a more extensive filmography. I didn't look that up, unfortunately, about that. But I'm actually interested to see what this guy could potentially bring to the character. Now, the film is going to be called, reportedly, Hellboy: The Crooked Man. The title really doesn't get me. They could have just did something differently with the title, The Crooked Man. It sounds like a book, or Hellboy versus the Crooked Man, or Hellboy Reign of the Crooked Man, or something like that. But Hellboy: The Crooked Man ain't really. I see what you were trying to go for. But anyway, so based on what we see here on Vulture, I'm not sure how accurate this website is, but in this new take, our Cloven hooved hero reportedly found himself stranded with a rookie agent for the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense in 1950s rural Appalachia. The pair discovers witches, a local devil, and a troubling connection to Hellboy's past. Um, yeah, I like the synopsis. I'm just still hung up on kind of the title a little bit, or Cult of the Crooked Man, something. But anyways, so the film is going to be directed by Brian Taylor, and Brian Taylor has he's done all right for himself as a director. He did Crank, which I actually liked. Crank, High Voltage. I thought that was okay. It didn't make sense for a sequel, but it was all right film for what it was. Gamers still have not seen it. Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. Ugh, I don't know. That one didn't turn out so well. But anyways, I'm interested to see where they're going to go with the Hellboy franchise. I like Hellboy. I think that it has so much potential. I've recently been reading the comics and everything, which I need to start reviewing this crap. I'm reading all of these freaking comics and not reviewing them. But I think I'm interested to see where they're going to go with this. I don't know much about this guy, Jack Kesey. I'm not sure if he's got the physical build to make this character look awesome. I'm not sure if he's got the acting chops, but I'm willing to give this man a shot. We'll have to wait till potentially the first trailer, or maybe even just revealing images of the character and how badass he looks. Now, look, I like Rob Perlman's the way he looked as Hellboy, because he does look like the comics. I think David Arbor's design was much more realistic, much more like badass looking. Basically, it's like the Hulk version, Incredible Hulk, to the Incredible Hulk. if I could edit it, I'd be editing it right now. Where it's like this would be the Incredible Hulk version of Hulk, and this would be the Hulk version of Hulk. But anyways, so really, I'm interested to see where they're going to go with the Hellboy franchise, because I think the Hellboy franchise is not doing so well, and I honestly don't understand why the hell you would make a Hellboy reboot, two reboots, and not just pick up Ron Perlman as Hellboy, because he's got but it's too late now. Ron Perlman's like what, 60 something, and I'm not trying to put this man to play though. I'm not trying to get this man a 60-year-old Hellboy. Come on, man, it's not cool. Even though I like Ron Perlman as a character, but I'm interested what they're going to do with Hellboy. I think it has potential to be something. Personally, Hellboy I think would benefit more if it was a series, maybe a 15, 20 episode series where they're trying to find out some kind of mystery or something. I think it will work better that way. Hell, we got the Sandman, we got Luke Cage, we got the dumbass She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. We got all of these series, but I think Hellboy definitely would benefit from having a series, especially given just like how complex the world is, the different elements, the different characters. It's basically the MIB of magic. So, that's a good way to flesh out the characters, a good way to flesh out Hellboy. But what can you say to it? So, having said that, yeah, guys, let me know, what are your thoughts? Are you interested in anything? Because right now, let's just go over. Let's recap what we talked about here. We talked about the new Resident Evil film, Resident Evil Dead Island. We talked about the new Alien film, Alien Romulus. We talked about the Flash trailer and our expectations for the film, as well as somewhat where the DCU is going. And we talked about Jack Kesey being the new Hellboy in the new Hellboy reboot. In the comment section below, guys, let me know, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with anything that I said? Did you not agree? Are there elements to these 4 topics that I hadn't covered that you think I probably should have or should look up to cover in the next episode? Unfortunately, I hadn't written the script up for next week's show, so I'm not sure. I can't really tell y'all what we're going to be talking about in the next show. But anyways, hope you guys have yourselves a good day. Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and a notification button to get the best of what we got going on this channel. And we'll definitely catch you guys later.